Boys, I don't know about y'all, but how about that Athens? We got the Crush, we got the Hedgehogs, we got the Bullfrogs, and the Panic. These are certainly names of all time, as the Final Four to name the Athens Indoor Football League football team. But, it is what it is. What can you really say about it? Do I like any of these names? Not particularly, but I'll take Bullfrogs just because it's different, than anything else. Like the Hedgehog sounds cool for like 5 seconds, and it's like, I don't really, I get where it's kind of coming from. The Panic and the Crush do not appeal to me at all as far as names go. Well, including the crazy thing that happened at the end of that Arkansas-Memphis game. I've never seen an arena football field storm in my entire life. I've never seen it at all. And it's crazy that even happened. Apparently there were a lot of Little Rock, the University of Little Rock, Arkansas guys there. For like the swim team was there or something like that. That's what I heard. But yeah, amazing game from Memphis and Arkansas. Definitely game of the week worthy. Eau Claire is still terrible. Iowa still. You're getting there. They got to win on the season at least. Remember, at one point they hadn't won in over a year. So, but they were unable to beat Nebraska, who's the only unbeaten team left in the Arena League this year. Monroe gets a win over Ozarks. And I mean, things are shaping up to be very interesting. Nebraska's clinched a playoff spot. St. Joe should be close to clinching one, if not already clinched one. Remember, the Arena League has divisions this year as well. So, there's a lot that goes into it. But, Arkansas is right there. Memphis and Monroe will be battling it out basically for those last couple playoff spots. Eau Claire, go ahead and put a fork in it. Same thing with Iowa pretty much. Ozarks might still have a chance. Probably not. But, it's basically like one spot left, to be quite honest with you. The Arena League is taking next week off, so no games for them on 4th of July weekend. And you got to say, I'm impressed. I'm impressed yet again, with the way things have been going. Arkansas is consistently doing things right. They are hyped up and everything. Nebraska's also doing things right, which is very, very fun. And same thing with Memphis, just doing things the right way. The other 5 teams I can't really say too much about. I haven't really seen as much as I would have hoped from the other 5 teams in the Arena League, which is saying a lot. That's really telling of things, of how things are going. But the big 3 in Arkansas, Memphis, and Nebraska, they're killing it on social media. They're killing it with engagement. They're killing it on the field. And I got to tell you, the Arena League has just 3 weeks left in the season. And it all comes down to just a couple of games, really, for some of these teams. So we'll see how things go from there. And would you look at that, the most obvious AAL championship of all time. Columbus Wheeling at the WesBanco Arena in Wheeling, West Virginia for the 4th AAL championship on July 11th, 2026. It'll be at 7 o'clock Eastern time because West Virginia is on the East Coast, so 6 o'clock here Central time. And it should be one heck of a game between the 2 best teams in the AAL. Wheeling has, overcome a lot of difficulties this year. Columbus has been mostly steamrolling opponents, but at the same time, not so much as well. There have been some games where, teams have given them a good punch back. And this is it. This is really the game that will define all the games in the AAL this year. Should be a good one. I do think Columbus will come out on top, though. They'll come out on top by 10 points at least. That's like the most surefire prediction I've made all season long. I, I think Wheeling has the talent to keep up with Columbus, but ultimately Columbus will still win the AAL championship in the end. But I could be proven wrong. You never know. And this is gonna be something that's just gonna be on par with some of these other championship games that have happened so far this season. And I can't wait for it. Should be fun. All right. I think I forgot to talk about the IL last week, but you know what? It's fine. I always forget something, but not this week. So the Cincinnati Slingers, are still basically rocking the league right now. They're rocking it. I'm not entirely surprised at all. Utah's looking pretty good too, 6-3. How about them Jugs? The Arizona Jugs, and those Vegas Rockers and the Penn Benjamins are down at the bottom. The Eurostars are now the 4th seed. But, unlike most other leagues, we're going to have some 4th of July Saturday football. So, 2 games at Mullet Arena this upcoming Saturday. It'll be the Slingers and the Juggernauts, and then the Eurostars and the Utah Great Eights. Those 2 games will be on Saturday, and then Sunday we'll have the 2 teams at the bottom of the standings face off at Santander Arena. And, the IAL's been doing doubleheaders and stuff like that to like 30 to 100 fans in the stands. But I mean, they're still playing football somehow. They're still getting through the season. They're still getting through. I mean, what can you really say that hasn't already been said? There's somehow, some way this league is going to make it through their first season. That's all I can really say at this point. Like they're just going to continue to push along until there is no way to push along any further. And I mean, you got some talented guys in the IAL right now too. So there's no shortage of nonsense that hasn't already been stated. There's been some broadcast gaffes over the past couple weeks, and that's just the way things have been run. But, I mean, truth be told, what's stopping, the IAL from continuing to gain momentum? It's themselves, and we know that. But they're going to play on anyway. And I may repeat and I may regurgitate, but, ultimately, something's got to give for somebody. Do these teams want it? Does this league want it? Do they want to be in the position they want to be in? We'll find out because, 4th of July, some leagues said no, we're off. So, who knows? Well, boys, I hate to say it, but Beaumont and Oceanside, y'all are out of the playoffs. Y'all are out of the playoff picture. Let me tell you. We are going to have 3 AF1 games this week again because of Oregon dropping out. We're going to have some schedule changes, including the Albany Firebirds traveling to Beaumont to take on the Renegades. And the Firebirds have lost 2 straight games. And it's like, they were just thoroughly out. They've been thoroughly outplayed the last 2 games. So, like Nashville's looking good. Michigan is also looking pretty good. They're 5-6. They have to get some things to go their way in order to get in the playoffs, but they're, getting momentum at the right time, because Minnesota's kind of faltered a little bit. Washington's been, there, their rival isn't here anymore in Oregon to kind of play games against. But, there's a lot hinging on these final couple games for most of these teams. Nashville, if they could just win, one more, they'll be in position, to take the AF1 crown because, I mean, shoot, the way they've been playing and the way things have been going for them, there's no stopping them. But I'm telling you, the Arsenal, they got it. They got it, man. They got it. I wish they were able to climb up, the standings a little bit more, but it's just may not be possible with the way things look because of Michigan. I mean, it's because of Washington and Minnesota having more games left than Michigan does. So, a lot's going to have to go Michigan's way in order for them to get in the playoffs. And I'm rooting for them, too, because, I mean, they've been playing some great football. But Kentucky, Albany, and Nashville are essentially locked in. There's not much anybody can do to stop those three, from not getting in unless they completely fall on themselves over the last 3 weeks of the season. Again, the AF1 is playing on the 4th of July weekend, so we do have some, stuff going. So, and I believe all those games are on Sunday as well. So, it should be a good weekend for the AF1. And last, but certainly not least, is the actual IFL games from this weekend. Green Bay putting up 83 points is insane. What are we even doing here? What are we even doing here, man? I mean, just, my goodness, 83-50 is just insane, But, Fishers and Tulsa, who, was able to barely get by Iowa, they are battling for a spot, and they're battling for a spot in the playoffs as well out east. It's going to be intriguing to see, how things go. Vegas was barely able to survive. I mean, but again, San Antonio just going to have to they're going to have a prayer at this point because they got to catch up to Tucson, and I don't think they're going to be able to catch up to Tucson. They're 4-9. They're not going to be able to catch up. They got to catch up. There's not going to be a way to catch up, unless things go their way. New Mexico, that first season, it's always tough on an expansion team, but Arizona doing what they did, for most of that game. I mean, it was like 32-3 at one point, and it's just like, why are we even here? Why are we even here at this point? So Arizona has clinched a playoff spot, and same with Jacksonville, despite them losing to San Diego. They have clinched a playoff spot as well. Again, Tucson, despite the loss to Northern Arizona, basically are in position to be in position, and they basically could be that fourth team out west. And then Orlando beats Quad City. Quad City season is mercifully about to come to an end, I think. They should be eliminated from playoff contention too at some point. If not, if they're already eliminated, then they are already eliminated. But if not, then I guess. But truthfully, I think they're done. Truthfully, they're probably done because I forgot Quad City's record, but they've just had a horrible season. Not the one that has lived up to expectations. And so, Orlando, Tulsa, and Fishers are battling for 2 spots, basically, out east. Because Jacksonville has finally clinched, and Green Bay has been clinched. Green Bay honestly clinched like 3 weeks ago, but, it didn't really pencil into like a week or two ago that they were in. But, it is what it is with the IFL. And again, the IFL also playing this 4th of July weekend, but it'll just be 3 games, It'll just be 3. One of these I was anticipating on going to, but, things kind of happened, to where I will not be able to go. So, it is what it is. But we got, 10 games over this weekend? Like 10, 11 games this weekend, I think. Something like that. It's a number of games. But